time for you, and just keep it in the rest of us, Almighty God, you know. Great man, live on, man. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, man. Pay prophet, man, with the stuff it down here. Bob Marley, see me now. King, priest, and prophet, Marcus, Garfield, word come to pass. Don't forget about fire, God, some great man. Prophet, this thing to them, like I come to pass the pagan. Baba TV, we coming from the grassroots. Babylon, fill out the grass, youth. Out of Iraq, take out the grass, youth. We not go water down like that, you. Baba TV, from the grassroots. Babylon, fill out the grass, youth. Out of Iraq, take out the grass, youth. Baba TV, don't water down like that, you. Just say the truth. They don't teach you about Marcus and Farrakhan. Now the great man, Malcolm X. They don't teach you about the mystery. But I want no teaching about Buster Man thing. You the teaching about Marcus Garvey. You the teaching about the great nanny. We want to know the history about the great Gandhi. Paul Bogle, me want the mystery. Baba TV move fire come the liquor century. I'll punch up on the mic, well vice versa. Camel gun incident, and we never forget. Green beer killing, and we never forget. How many don't trust a man, Babylon did today. Me coming from the grassroots. Baba TV.
All right, family, peace and greetings. Welcome to another edition, very special edition of Baba TV Every Time Fire. And it's my ultimate privilege always. I'm very humbled. We're streaming live to a very special place. Not just because they got over the most beaches, over 300, I think Buki used to tell me 360 some odd beach they have. We'll come streaming to the island of Antigua. And we have two very special guests. I want to just let the family know how I came to know the brother right there. He goes by the name, we know him in Washington, D.C. We knew him as Choo Choo. And I'd probably known him for a good 20 odd years. He's back home now in the beautiful island of Antigua. You never know, say Baba, no people all over the place, man. What do you mean, man? And beside him is his beautiful queen Sheba, and she will be teaching us today about, they have a beautiful restaurant she has by the name, it's right on the screen there, family, the Mystic Calabash. And she has some wonderful dishes straight because, you know, our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean, you know, they know how to cook and give us some healthy Ital food. Not no vegetarian food. It's different. Ital food for the soul and for the spirit. So I'm going to shut my mouth. I'm not going to be talking too much and running my mouth. Sister, first of all, welcome to Baba TV, and I'm going to turn the screen on you so that you can begin to talk about your restaurant and the dishes, the wonderful dishes that you have prepared and for the people. Talk to the people, sister.
Hi, I'm Empress Sheba, and we have a restaurant here in Antigua. We're located on the corner of Newgate Street and Corn Alley. Now, what we specialize in is quite unique because, first of all, if you allow whosoever that's feeding you, they're going to have control over your life, right? And I've always been a fan of our people having our own. And so what we do at the Mystic Calabash is we recreate the food that, or not food, because food has to, in order for something to be a food, it has to nourish and clean simultaneously. So let's use junk. The junk that we consume on a daily basis, what we do at the Mystic Calabash, we recreate it and we make it into food, right? So, for instance, we have something that we call roots wraps. That's to replace the wrap skins, like the topian wraps. Normally, it's made with white flour or wheat flour, but here we use cassava and dasheen flour that's made. I make all my flours myself. So the roots wrap, that one is extremely tasty. I mean, Chuchu can testify because he's one of the biggest fans. He loves it, right? So what we do is we recreate the food or the junk that people are addicted to, and we turn it into food. So everything we have here is made from scratch. All of our condiments, our garlic butter, um, the different flours that we use. If we do, we have grains that we use, farro, and it's ground. We grind it here. So it's not necessarily a flour that we buy. We purchase the grain and we grind them here. So in other words, we can guarantee exactly what's going into our food items. We have products like mayo, cocoa mayo, ketchup, um, salad dressing, and all of those are made from scratch here. And what we do when we're making these items, we do incorporate herbs, various herbs that assist with healing different ailments in the body. We also put in um, different substances, healing substances that you'll find in nature. For instance, sea moss is one of the ingredients that we use a lot because it has a lot of minerals and nutrients that assist with strengthening the body. So we do incorporate the healing herbs in the food that we prepare. So you can come and you have a plate of lasagna, and even though you're sitting down, you're eating a plate of lasagna, it tastes really good, but it's also causing your body to have healing, it's causing healing effects, right? So we have ice cream. We make 100% plant-based ice cream. Um, Not even in the ice cream we have any type of processed anything. Anything that's processed, we process it ourselves. So you get coconut milk straight from the nuts. We use pure maple syrup and all the other good stuff. So one of our main ice cream that we carry is the fenugreek ice cream. If anybody knows fenugreek, you know that fenugreek is one of the super seeds, and so it assists with building the blood, any type of bodily fluid. Fenugreek assists. So when it comes to serous fluid, the fluid that's in the sac where all of your organs are in your belly, right? That's the serous fluid, keeps them lubricated. So it produces serous fluid. It assists with producing sweat, sperm count. It builds the blood count. It increases libido in both male and female. It balances the hormones and so on. So can you imagine just sitting down eating a cup of ice cream? The taste is out of this world. But not only that, it's guilt-free eating because all the ice cream is doing is healing your body. And so that's our main mission, is to provide food that heals the body and tastes awesome. Let me see. We do carry juice, some drinks. We have our healing juices. And for me personally, I kind of don't like I don't like simple. I love simple, but I don't like simple. When it comes to mixing flavors, I love to mix and match. So, we have one of the drinks we have available right now is the Tomoni. Now, I love the Tomoni because it's an energy booster. So if you're feeling really stressed, you're down, you're fatigued, stuff like that, you have the Tomoni, because the Tomoni contains one of the most powerful foods we have on the island that a lot of people don't like, and that's noni, right? And if it's one thing I can tell you about noni, it assists with getting rid of tiredness because it kills yeast. Now, yeast is the main cause of tiredness in the body. Reason being, the yeast will coat the cells, your blood cells, and it suffocates them. It prevents them from excreting, and it also prevents them from absorbing. So when you eat a lot of cheese, a lot of bread, any type of dairy products, you'll have a lot of yeast buildup. How you know you have yeast buildup? When you have like dandruff on the scalp. For females, you would see the yeast coming from the vagina. Males, you wouldn't really notice, and it also has a smell. The body, it gives the body this smell, kind of like fresh bread. So that's how you would know that you have yeast buildup, and noni is excellent for that. So every single thing we prepare here, or at least everything I conceive in my mind to prepare, I make sure that it is bringing some form of healing to the body. And that's what I think separates the Mystic Calabash from any other vegan or health food business on the island.
Beautiful, beautiful. Sis, talk about the. I was looking on the menu, the mushroom bean soup. Talk about that a little bit.
The mushroom bean stew. Um, the mushroom bean stew. It's everything is quite simple. It's just mushrooms. I do use particular mushrooms that there's one particular mushroom is I don't want to give my secrets out, so I'm not going to talk about that one. But yeah, so we use mushrooms that you would find in herbal products, right? Because you know these mushrooms they have a lot of different healing effects, and
Got you.
so
Got you.
yeah, and the beans, really and truly, the beans are just used because people like beans, not necessarily for protein. Because my view on protein is a little different than some other folks. Protein for me comes from the greens. So we have a green juice that we carry. It's called green passion, and it's packed with all the good stuff of the green herbs that you find on the island. And what I usually tell people when they ask me about protein, if you're going to consume protein by eating animal flesh, the muscles of the animals, why not leave the animals and eat what the animals are eating? Because if a cattle can get that big from eating only grass, then we certainly don't need to eat the cattle. We can just go and eat the grass, right? So we take the greens and we turn it into a juice. Now, turning it into a juice makes it much easier for persons to consume because now it has flavor, there's a bit of sweetness, there's some fruitiness to it. So it's much easier for you to consume. I've had the green juice is one of the most famous juice coming out from our shop right now because once you drink it, as soon as you drink it, you start to feel the effects of it. So it balances the blood pressure, it balances the blood sugar. I've had one person call me and told me that she was kind of scared and excited at the same time. She asked me if it stopped the menstrual cycle, right? Because she was on her cycle and she usually have it bad. So she has cramps and pains and heavy bleeding and stuff like that. She had one single green juice, just one. And the following day, she had it one day, and the following day, everything just stopped. She didn't have any pain, she didn't have any cramping, and also the amount that she was passing out was reduced. So I told her it was the green juice because there's some herbs that cleans the uterus. I sneak a lot of all these healing herbs into the green juice, but because it has passion fruit, it hides the flavor, so it doesn't taste off. So she was really excited. We have another person who comes for that one because she bought it the first time. I had to convince her to buy it, but then she went home and she came back the next day saying she needs two more because when she drank it the night before, her blood pressure just went all the way down to the perfect place. So That's my view on protein. Really and truly, we don't need to eat beans to get protein. We don't greens. That's where our protein come from.
Beautiful. Now, sister, let me ask you, how long have you been? Because you're very knowledgeable, obviously. How long did Mama teach you this? Where did you learn? Where did you learn? I'm not gonna say you went to school for it. Where did you learn? Coming from the island of Antigua, where did you learn all of this?
Honestly, let me say, I used to work with a naturopathic doctor. He goes by the name of Heru Odada Shango, and he's the owner of Simply Healthy Herbal Clinic here on the island. And so I've been working there for quite a while. And because my love and passion for cooking, because of my love and passion for cooking, I used to prepare our clients' food. So if someone comes in with cancer, and they would have to change their diet, but nobody wants to just go and get a bunch of vegetables and just eat, right? Nobody's going to do that because it's not palatable. So I would, make the little dressing and all the different add-ons and so on, spice up the salad. So now I had clients who I had to prepare food for. Every week I had to prepare food for them, raw food, because once you're sick, the best thing to consume would be raw foods, because it does not rob your body of energy. As a matter of fact, it gives more than it takes, right? As well as allowing your body to clean and opening up your cells to absorbing more oxygen, to carry more oxygen and stuff like that. So you get healing when you're consuming raw food. So most of my knowledge came from working with the naturopathic doctor. So because I was actually in studying to do what he does, but my passion is in food. So I decided, instead of trying to get into Ayurvedology, let me just do my healing through food, because that's what I love to do. So I do it really well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see. Like, for instance, suppose somebody came to you and then you say, well, I got a touch of diabetes. What kind of regimen would you put them on, sister?
Oh, diabetes is simple, but let me just say right here, diabetes is one of the first levels of cancer, because cancer is caused by consuming too much sugar. That's where cancer comes from, sugar. Um, my teacher, what he used to tell us, candy, that's candida cancer. So that's how cancer rolls. It starts with the candy or the sugar, and then you get yeast overload, which is candida, and then it leads to cancer. So diabetes is actually one type of cancer, but nobody would look at it that way. But that's what it is. So if you're diabetic, I would definitely eliminate sugar from your diet, and I will eliminate both simple and complex sugar. So there would be no sugar, no flour, no starch whatsoever, unless, of course, it's coming from straight from the earth in the form of like some type of ground provision. Um, Introduce more greens, no protein, no heavy protein at all. So even beans, you want to just leave that alone and do as much juicing as possible, as much juicing and water. Because if you mix some juice, if you're making a bottle of Kool-Aid and it's too sweet, the only thing you're going to think to do is to add water to it, yeah, to dilute the sugar. So when you're diabetic, you definitely have to drink more water than you're accustomed to drinking. So if you're accustomed to drinking, they have this 8 glasses of water, 8 glasses per day. That's not right. It doesn't work. One person should have half the amount of their body weight in ounces of water. So now it would be different for everyone. So the heavier you are, the more water you drink. The more water you drink, the more fat you burn. Why? Because water weight replaces fat. And fat stores toxins. So once you're getting rid of fat, you're getting rid of toxins. And you can do that just by simply drinking more water. And then if you add chlorophyll to that, which comes from the green herbs, when I say chlorophyll, I'm not talking about this green powder stuff that they have in the bottle. They sell them in the health food store. It's nasty stuff and it gives you bad side effects. So you go and get the actual green herb and you make the chlorophyll and you drink that. That alone can just totally eliminate diabetes. Of course, you would have to do some cleansing, some colon cleansing and so on, because that's where it all starts. If you're not eliminating properly, then you're going to have problems with your health.
So you say you would eliminate the protein, not even beans, sis? If a person was diabetic, they can't even eat no beans or nothing like
Not
that?
that they can't. It's not that they can't or they shouldn't, but you definitely should reduce the amount. Okay, so the reason for that, protein, it takes a bit more from your body to digest protein, to break it down, even beans. The simplest form of protein would be amino acids, because really and truly, our bodies, I won't say the human body, but I know for melanated people, our bodies make its own protein, right? And it uses amino acids to make the protein. So instead of giving the body protein to break down, you might as well give the body the amino acids so it only makes what it needs. Because anything, if the body has, if you only need 5 grams of protein and you give the body 10 grams of protein, then the extra 5 gram would just go to waste. So it's just going to send it to the colon. Now, if that protein is a sticky form, then it's going to just attach itself to the walls of the colon, causing plaquing, covering the villi in the colon and so on, therefore stopping you from assimilating different nutrients that your body needs. So it's not the case where if you're diabetic, you can have beans, but I would say you don't need the beans. But if it's just for taste, if it's just for entertainment, then yeah, you can eat some beans.
Now, what about the fruit? I know people with diabetes have to be careful with their fruit because I'm dealing with this because diabetes is a big problem with us here in America, and I know the fruit like bananas and stuff that's like a no go if you got that with the sugar. What about watermelon and stuff like that? Can you eat watermelon?
Um, okay. So yes, you can eat watermelon. However, the genetically modified watermelons that's on the market right now has more sugar. So you would be better off without it. You would be better off without it. Now, when it comes to diabetes, I know for a fact that when you go to the doctor, like the medical doctor, they would tell you to reduce the amount of sugar you use or even eliminate it completely. When you have natural fruits, the natural sucrose that's coming directly from the fruits, unless it's not a case where the fruit is overripe, you can have it. Like I said, once you're diabetic, you definitely have to increase the amount of water you drink, and you must increase your green because the greens that's what going to balance the blood. So you need to get the sugar out of the blood, whether it's insulin resistance, whichever one you have, it doesn't matter. You have to balance the blood pH level. Chlorophyll is the main thing that you should consume. Being a diabetic, you consume chlorophyll. So let's say you weigh 250 pounds, then you should consume about 125 ounces of water on a daily basis. You make at least 100 ounces of water chlorophyll.
This is some
And
power.
sorry, if you're diabetic and your doctor have not told you that you should eliminate um, these various starches like flour, any type of flour products, anything that's coming from corn, because I know in the US there's a lot of genetically modified foods going around, and corn is one of the worst. So if you're having corn on the cob or you're having cornmeal, cornbread, whatever it is, the wheat is really, really bad as well. So you want to stay away from that. Any type of starch, you would need to stay away from it. White rice, things like those, definitely don't have it. Have lots more fruits and veg, and a whole ton of greens.
This is powerful. Woo. Uh, now when you're juicing water, because I noticed you didn't mention, what about beets? Are beets good to purify the blood, the heart, and so forth, and okay to eat if you have these diseases?
Beets are good. Beets are good, but let's just go back to the animal kingdom. Um, I'm going to stick with the herbivores because those are who we're closest to, the herbivores. And so they don't dig on the ground for anything. Even here, I don't know in the US, I don't think y'all have chickens walking around. But even here, when you have the stray dogs, those are carnivores. The cats, those are carnivores, and then the chickens or the fowls, those are omnivores. They eat anything, scavengers. Whenever they're ill, they go and they eat grass. Dogs, they go and eat grass. Cats, they go and eat grass. And different other type of green herbs that's outside. They would go and eat that once they're ill. They don't eat their meat, they don't eat their food, nothing. They go and eat the grass. And then they will vomit it back up. After it's done its work, they bring it back up. Now, the reason they do that is quite simple. The only place you're going to find true healing when it comes to what you're eating is in the green herbs. There's nothing else, nowhere else, nothing else you're going to find other than the green herbs. So if you're ill, you don't even have to go to the doctor. You get green herbs and you stuff yourself with that, and you're good. Green herbs and water, you can survive. You can heal just about anything if you have a strong mind. Because if your mind is not strong, then you're not going to stick on something that simple. You're not going to stick to a diet that simple. You're going to want to feel full. You're going to want to have all these different flavors in your mouth. Your taste buds going to play tricks on you and stuff like that. But if you want to be real, if you're real hardcore, then you can just do green herbs and water. Perfect.
All right, sis, we have somebody in the chat here who have a question for you. See, I have it on the screen. 100 ounces of chlorophyll a day, he asks.
I mean, come on. I've done that. Because, I mean, does he live in the city? When he says chlorophyll, is he talking about that powdered stuff that you throw from the canister?
Probably yes.
Yeah, that's some nasty stuff. I don't know anything about that. I know only about the natural chlorophyll. So when I make chlorophyll, I go outside, and that's the beauty about living in the islands, right? I go outside and I go to this tree, that tree. I go to them, I speak to them, I tell them what I want from them, and then I take the leaves, and that's it. There's no going to the store because they do sell the chlorophyll in the powdered stuff here. And I've had someone came to me before, and they were asking me about it. She went and bought it, but she had some side effects. It gave her she was nauseous. Like every time she drank it, she was nauseous. She got headaches. It was just having a really bad effect on her. And a couple other persons spoke to me about it where they had bad effects as well. So when it comes to that chlorophyll that they sell in the health food store, it's a definite no-no for me. But 100 ounces of chlorophyll a day, that's easy. A gallon is 128 ounces. And, most of the time I drink more than that in water.
Wow.
And besides, water keeps you looking younger. So, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, in Antigua, let's go back to the water. The water is free. I know you did like the faucet water, or do you go out in the stream and get the water? I know you don't go to the store and buy no water there.
Well, we have so many water companies here. Most of our springs are on private lands, and once somebody purchases a land that has a spring on it, they usually start a water company, right? I mean, why not? So buy water, that's fine because we have it pure here. But also we have our what do you call it? The tank, that's hooked up so that you get rainwater. I think rainwater is not used in the US, but it's totally safe here. We treat the water. There's different treatments that you can put in the water. You have different green herbs that you can put in the water to cleanse it. A lot of people here, they put material on the tank so it strains the water. I have different methods to clean the water that's in the tank. You treat it with food grade hydrogen peroxide, and it's good to go. We've never had water issues.
I just want to say this to those of us in America. I mean, listening to this, I hope we understand that we are in a death trap here in America. You heard what the sister said. You can't even go, we want to make fun of folks who are not from here like we from the best damn part of the planet Earth, and it's more corrupt here than it is anywhere else. You can't even hardly find no vegetables. So if you are trying to heal yourself in America, it's very difficult because now you got to go try to find so-called organic vegetables that non-GMO vegetables that are organic. You can't. I haven't. I haven't heard of any chlorophyll from the plant, but that doesn't mean it's not here. That's just me. I'm gonna have to do some investigation. I'm sure there are those of us among our people here that grow their own chlorophyll, but all I've seen, sis, you right, is powder form. You gotta go get it in the store and you mix it with water with a spoon and stir it up. And it's like you almost hit me with a gut punch, telling me that it's that's no good. So we have to, because I'm trying to get back to the green diet and greens and greens and greens. I do a lot of spirulina. Talk about that. And again, though, that's powder, sis.
I used to use spirulina, that green blue algae. But the thing is, I mean, I don't want to put my fears on anybody else because there's just some things that I don't trust. Anything that comes in a powder form is not something that we can trust. Because I remember one time I watched something on YouTube where some Chinese were making pills from some crab and selling those. So some things, that's why I started this restaurant, because I wanted to be able to guarantee people of what they're eating, what they're consuming. I know that I don't trust certain things, so I don't use it and I don't give it to my customers. I don't feed it to my children. So when it comes to spirulina, I used it before, and then I watched this documentary on spirulina, and even that they had as a genetically modified organism. So I just stopped. It's the same thing with the pink Himalayan salt, because they tell you the pink Himalayan salt is much better to use than regular salt or than sea salt. However, some companies, they started to dye the salt and they sell it to you as pink salt. So when we look at the corruption with products and making money, it's a little difficult for me now to trust certain things. When it comes to spirulina, I know people, they're hungry for money and they'll do almost anything for it. So I don't use it anymore. I stopped using it like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember what I was using it in, but the last thing I made with the spirulina was a cake, a birthday cake someone had ordered, and they wanted the ice golden green cake, and I used the spirulina. But then they had some side effect, and I couldn't think of anything that was in the cake other than the spirulina that would give them any type of side effect. Right? And then we had also some clients who were talking about it, saying they use it, but they had some bad effects. Some people said nothing happened to them, they still use it and still using it right now. So I guess You can find the pure one, but there's also the one that's not good out there. And so I just don't use it. I don't think it's necessary. I know they have a lot of things that they come out and they say this is a superfood, that is a superfood. As far as I'm concerned, there are three major superfoods on the planet: the sun, sunlight, water, and the grass that the cows eat. And that's it.
Now, sis, this is powerful. Right back to the base. See there, family. This is what we needed here. Can she send me some of the chlorophyll? Well, that would be up to you and her, but I will say the phone number is right here on the screen. If you want to contact her, and you can talk about that with her, and and you can discuss that, and her email is right there as well. So all her contact information is right there for you all to have to write down and go back on the video if you want, and you can get it at any time. But that would be totally up to you and her. I can't answer that question.
I'm not sure how I would get the chlorophyll to them in the US. Because I mean, first of all, shipping from Antigua is difficult on purpose. It's a type of control thing so that we don't ship certain things to the US specifically. We can't even send mango seeds to the US so that you guys can have a taste of our very sweet kidney mangoes. And in order for me to send herbs, the herbs, they can't be fresh. So I would have to figure out how to get the herbs to you, and then you would have to make the chlorophyll. Or you could just come to Antigua. But I've been working on something to try to get this food in the US because I've had my sister's over there, and she has a bunch of clients who would like to have like ice cream, and they want to get a bunch of the food that we carry, well, the products really. And so we're working on that. So once people keep in touch with us, there's the Instagram page. We usually put information on the Instagram page. So you'll definitely know when we have that up and running.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. One last thing. I almost know and what you're gonna say, but then again, I don't. That's why I'm gonna ask. I'm just gonna say it. Eggs. Talk to the is that a green light? Cause some people say yay, some people say no. You know what I mean? When we deal with the health, some people say it's okay, some people say nah, it's not so. So, talk to us about the eggs, sister.
I mean, listen, let me say this first. Everything is about personal choice. What may work for me may not work for you, and vice versa. When it comes to eggs, the eggs that you have in the store is not good. Full stop. It's not good. The chickens are genetically modified. Soon from now, they're just gonna squeeze a dropper and drop eggs out. I've seen videos of how they make eggs in China. It's crazy. But the eggs that we get from overseas in the store is not good. First of all, for females, should not be consuming eggs at all. Eggs has some very destructive properties on the uterus. Any female who eats eggs, I can guarantee you that she has an odor that's coming from the uterus. Once you consume egg, you're going to have it. It's a particular odor. You can smell it. So as a woman, you do not want to consume those eggs. For the male, it does mess with the prostate. So you also don't want to consume the eggs. If you're going to consume eggs, please, if you can find what we have here called yard fowl, the ones that are, running around the place, wherever, those are fine. Those are fine because they're not injected with anything. They're not fed any particular hormone boosting food. The eggs that you're consuming from the supermarket right now, they have a whole lot of hormones. So what really happens a lot of time, it assists with persons being gay because it causes a lot of hormonal imbalance. right? So you want to stay away from eggs as much as you can. I know a lot of people, like in the bodybuilding world, they use it in the bodybuilding world. They use it because it's, it's high in protein and all of that stuff. But bodybuilders get sick. They get weak after a while. The body, because they keep it moving and built and so on, they're strong for a while, but then you get sick with your internal organs, with your digestive system. You do get sick as a bodybuilder when you consume all this egg, but it has serious effects on the hormones. And when the hormones are out of balance, then there's a lot of things that you can't do. And one of those things is connect spiritually. But I'm not going to go down that road. That's another story.
Well, Choo Choo, I love you, brother, but I see why you had to get out the way and let this let this sister do her thing, brother. Word, this is a master teacher right here. I really do appreciate you so much. I have got a hell of an education just listening. And we have teachers here. I'm sure you heard of Queen Afua, and she's
I
kind
got it in the floor.
of.
And Dr. Africa, Dr. Sabi. Yeah.
And she definitely is on with the greens and the chlorophyll and the greens, and basically the same thing that you saying. And yeah, I definitely know that I have to get back to that. I remember that Spud and them used to bring, or their sisters used to bring a fish over from Antigua, and it was, I don't know the name of the fish, but it was sweet and like a rainbow color. And the fin was like a rainbow color, and it was not too big a fish, but it's sweet. Now that we talking about the fish, what about not genetically modified, but wild caught? Is salmon okay to eat if it's not
If it's
genetically
wild caught,
modified?
it's fine. If it's wild caught, it's fine. You just want to stay away from the GMOs. Even GMO seedless fruits, you want to stay away from those, because one of the things they don't mention is that it makes you unable to have children.
Damn, you sticking, sis. You good now?
Okay. People like seedless grapes, all this seedless food is saying something to us. It makes you seedless. It makes us seedless. So you want to not consume those types. But wild, anything that's wild is fine. But also we have to be very careful of what's wild, because there's a lot of GMO in the wild right now. I know here, there's this one plant. It looks very similar to our seaside grape. And I've never seen that plant. All the time I'm growing up, I've never seen that plant. About 5 years ago, the plant just appeared in the wild. It was there just shooting up around the beaches where the seaside grapes are, around ponds and stuff like that. And I was just, every time I see it, I watch it. But it just gave me this weird vibe. The plant itself, it just gives off that weird vibe. Like you touch it and it just have this energy that it's not natural, it's not normal. But up to now, I've spoken to other persons about it, and we keep seeing a lot of strange little plants shooting up in the wild. And I know one time, my teacher was saying that they were dropping seeds from the plane. The one that puts out the chemtrails. So they were dropping seeds, because we have a lot of different herbs that was never here before, here now, because there's an attack on the wild too, because we're going to the wild herbs. So you definitely have to know the herbs before you just jump to the wild and take anything. You have to know the herbs.
Okay, sister, I don't want to. I'm so thankful that you chose to give Baba TV a little bit of your time. And if there's nothing else, I don't have any more questions. I'm sure it's a lot more I could ask you, but my cup is running over based on what you told me already. So if you have any last words that you would like to tell the family at large to in this day and time to try to keep, you've already kind of done that, to try to just keep their health, you know, in America. It's not easy, but to try to get what every little bit you can get and start a regimen, because all of us can't get over there. I'm coming though. If you got any sense, family, you'll come on over there. I'm coming.
Well, I was just about to say that. I was just about to say, if you're coming to Antigua, check us out at the Mystic Calabash. If you have families coming here, you can send them over to the Mystic Calabash, because it's a guarantee that will give them something they'll definitely and absolutely love in terms of flavor, but also will not have any adverse effects on their health. As a matter of fact, they'll come back looking younger, fresher, more energized, and utterly filled.
Brother in the chat, something else, you keep asking for the contact information, and it's right there on the front screen, brother. It's wide in the open. It's no secret to be given to you. It's right there. Her number is right there. The email is right there. Everything is right there on the bottom of the screen, my brother. Everything. So, you know, it's no secret. It's right there for you to get. With that being said, sis, I would like to take us on out of here, because I told y'all at the beginning that Antigua is a very special place. For those that don't know, Von Benjamin, our brother from the powerfulest group, Midnight, that shook America, that shook the rest of the islands, coming from the little small island of Antigua. He shook Jamaica. He shook you bigger islands. You know he did. And damn it, he shook America and started in D.C. with his first couple of albums. And that brother taught so hard. He was not only in the Bible, that brother knew black history. He studied. I met him several times. He did not play, shuck, jive, scratch where he did not itch. And I was very proud to have met him just 2 or 3 times. Behind me, you see his new album. It's coming out on the 11th. I want to show it to the family. It's right here. Where is it? I know I got it. Come on, Baba. Right here. It's called Glory. You can pick it up on iTunes, or their website is called Glory, Ake Becca. It will be out September 11th. And I told you, I'm never going to let you on Baba TV forget about Von Benjamin and Midnight. People say, well, I thought he was from St. Croix. Well, one thing I learned from a good brother of mine from Antigua, a lot of the people from St. Croix came by way of Antigua. And that's why Von is not buried in St. Croix. He's buried right there in Antigua. And his father was a famous singer, Senior, Benjamin Senior, in Antigua. And most people in Antigua know of him. He's very famous. And I just wanted to add that. I don't want to take away from what the sister had to, but this is a very special island and a very special people. And don't ever forget that. This is the island where our brother Midnight, Von Benjamin, and you will always get the utmost respect from Baba TV. And sister, thank you so very much for giving me a little bit of your time. If you have anything else you want to say, because I don't want to cut you short, then I want to take us on out of here with Midnight, sister. Any closing remarks?
Oh, only just hit us on Instagram, WhatsApp. You can send me an email. We have products coming out in a little while, and we will have them in the US at some point. So if you're ever in Antigua, just call, we'll be right here, and we're waiting to serve you, because we can't wait for you to try our food. You would never believe that healthy can taste that good.
And on that note, family, I want to take us on out of here with our brother Von Benjamin, and this one says, judgment for sentence. Judgment for sentence.
Yeah. Who are they to judge me? Yeah. Oh, yeah. In all my members was a full-scale rebellion, sitting in self-moving four-wheel chariot of the wrong impression. Neither give no coercion by forced confession. I'm saying nah, I'm not innocent, not guilty, nah. Hypocrisy, judgmental is the plea I enter. Shortcomings of the judges, no scrutiny survivor. Nah, them not worthy of judgment for sentence, no. Judgment for sentence, no. Hey, singular anxiety because of a plural. Straight from the jump street, not denial. So who testified at my secret trial? So who amplified when your digits were dial? Yeah. Nah, I'm not innocent, nor guilty, nah. Hypocrisy, judgmental is the plea I enter. Shortcomings of the judges, no scrutiny survivor. Nah, them not worthy of judgment for sentence, no. Of a judgment for sentence, no. Accusation of two, but my love is for three. Roots that spring forth with the waters speed, creating a sound, a picture of compassion and humanity. Nature is in order, man, are you contrary? Are you contrary? Watch out now. That energy don't belong to this matter. Them only make I feel like coming in this another. I see they want your situation dissolve out there. You know I honor and I respect you now. You know I honor and I respect you now. Ooh, yeah. I'm not innocent nor guilty now. Hypocrisy, judgmental is the plea I enter. Shortcomings of the judges, no scrutiny survivor. Nah, them not worthy of judgment for sentence now. Of judgment for sentence now. Full-scale rebellion. In all my members was a full-scale rebellion. Yeah. Accusation of two, but my love is for three. Roots that spring forth with the branches and the waters meet, creating a sound, a picture of compassion and humanity. Nature is in order, man, and you contrary. You contrary. No. I'm not innocent nor guilty, no. Hypocrisy, judgmental is the plea I enter. Shortcoming of the judges, no scrutiny survivor. No,